Parshas Mishpatim. Do we realize that the Melachim, the celestial beings, have something very critical to teach us about Yiddishkeit, how to be better Jews? In the Sedge we find the second half of Maimed Har Sinai, Matan Torah, and the Yidden said Naaseh Nishma. We will do, we will hear. What was the greatness of this? The fact that they committed themselves to do without even knowing what was going to be demanded from them. And yet they were ready to do the Ratzon Hashem, whatever it may be. This precedence, so to speak, that the Naaseh preceded the Nishma, is really how Chazal understand what the greatness of this declaration was. The Gemara says in Shabbos HaPeches, Amar Belos, B'shashik Dibu Yisrael Naaseh the Nishma, that when the Yidden said Naaseh before Nishma, Yotze Baskol v'Omra lehen, the Baskol came out, a heavenly voice came out and said to them, B'gil b'ni razeh, who revealed to my children this secret? Shemalachi Asharish mishtamshim bo, that this is what the Malachi Asharis, this is what the celestial beings themselves, this is how they act with Hashem, they deceive. Like the Pasuk says, Baruch Hashem Malachi Giborei Koyach, these angels are blessed. Oseh Dvar Lishma B'Kol Dvar, that they do Devaro, they do what Hashem wants. Lishma Kol Dvar. The Gemara says we see that the Asiyah, the doing is before the Shmiya, before the hearing. Simply put, that the fact that Naaseh preceded Nishma, this is the greatness. But the Maharsha explains it's more than that. As the Maharsha says, the Melachim, they don't know anything but to do Ratzon Hashem. They are single-minded. They're devoted in their entire being to do the Ratzon HaBorei, to do what Hashem wants. Whereas a Yid, a person, has both a nefesh and a guf. And there's a struggle. The nefesh wants to do what Hashem wants. The guf wants to do what the guf wants, to follow the taivas, to follow the lust and desires. So there's a battle going on. What Klal Yisrael realized by Har Sinai was to be like Melachim. They were able to sublimate, subdue the guf, that they were single-minded, devoted like the Melachim to do the Ratzon Hashem. And this is the greatness. The greatness of Naaseh and Nishma is that you didn't have no other cheshbon, there's no other calculation, no consideration, but to do what the Bari Olam, what Hashem wants. And the Gemara continues and brings us out in the Maaseh. A Tzaduki, a Sadducee, came to Rava, and he saw him learning. He saw him being Amud B'Torah, sitting on his fingers, and he was so engrossed in his learning that he didn't realize that blood was actually coming out of his fingers. He was crushing his fingers. The Tzaduki said to Rava, you're an impetuous people. You went ahead and said Naaseh v'Nishma, and you accepted the Torah without knowing what was demanded from you, and you haven't changed. You're still doing beyond what could be handled. How could a person go ahead and suffer physical harm, damage, and pain for the Torah? What does that mean? Rava said back, not a problem. Because we walk b'shleimus, we walk with Hashem, we have Ava for Hashem, and we know that Hashem loves us and we love Hashem, and therefore nothing will be demanded from us that we can't do. That's the Yesod. The Yesod is, the idea is that nothing will be demanded from us. And we said Naaseh, we went into this blindly, but we're trusting Hashem that Hashem will only ask us what we can actually perform. What could be better than such an approach to Yiddishkeit? To be able to give ourselves over, our total rutz and our total being to what Hashem wants. And that's the pshat in Naaseh and Nishma. However, there's a bit of a problem. The Gemara brings the pasuk in Tehillim, Baruch Hashem Malachi Giborei Koyach. Blessed are the angels, the Giborei Koyach, the strong ones. Oseh Dvar Lishma B'Kol Dvaro. They do Devaro, they do what Hashem wants, Lishmaya, to hear. It doesn't sound like from the words of the pasuk that it means to do it and then to hear it, to do first and then to hear, but rather, Loseh Devaro, to do Lishmaya in order to hear. What does that mean to do the Ratzon Hashem in order to hear the Ratzon Hashem? So there's a story about Shimshon Pinchas Zatzal. He tells about himself that one year when he was a bacher, they were cleaning for Pesach, and he didn't realize that in the attic where he was staying, that was actually part of their dira, part of the place he was staying. And it wasn't until in the evening already when he realized that he needed to clean that also for Pesach. He went upstairs to the attic and he saw there was so much to do up there, so much furniture, so many baggages, whatever it was, that it was going to take him the entire night to clean it. He was going to be up the whole night cleaning for Pesach, to do B'dikas Chometz. But he didn't have a choice. He thought to himself, I'm not going to have any koyach, I'm not going to be able to participate in the Seder, I'm going to be too wiped out, I'll be sleeping till the entire Seder. But he had a mitzvah right now. The mitzvah was B'dikas Chometz. He had to finish off the mitzvah. So he stayed up and he worked hard the entire night. And in the morning, he didn't sleep. He didn't sleep at all. He came to the mikveh in the morning to be toiva daf and chachris. And he says this was the best Seder he ever had. But not only that, the fact that he totally devoted himself, he was meiser nefesh for this mitzvah, and leil B'dikas Chometz, he said it changed his approach to Yiddishkeit. He had a different feeling about mitzvahs afterwards, about doing the Ratzon Hashem. Says the Sfarno, this is really the pshat, the pasuk. Ose dvar lishma b'kol dvaro. Says the Sfarno, Naaseh l'tachas shenishma b'kolo. We're going to do the Ratzon Hashem, l'tachlis, for the purpose to hear His word. That when I do the mitzvah, when I do the Ratzon Hashem, I'm going to hear Ratzon Hashem better. What does that mean? Like the Mishnah says that a person should do the Ratzon Hashem Shalom and ask the Kabul Pras, not to receive reward, simply means that he should do it Lishma, he should do it for Hashem. Says the Sfarn, it's more than just doing it for Hashem. When I go ahead and I do the mitzvah, I'm going to understand the Ratzon Hashem even better. That's what it means not to receive reward. Not just I'm going to do it for the right reason, but I'm actually going to gain an understanding and insight into what the Ratzon Hashem is. An incredible idea. Because we're accustomed to thinking the only way we're going to know what a Ratzon Hashem is by learning. And there's no question about it. When we learn Shas, we learn Paiskim, we understand the halacha, we know what Hashem wants, we do it. Says the Svara, this pasuk's telling us, when a person is Naaseh v'Nishma, Naaseh l'tachlis Nishma, when we do the mitzvah and we open up our heart, we open up our mind, our neshama is able to hear what the mitzvah has to teach us, what doing Ratzon Hashem is all about. We come to do Ratzon Hashem differently. And that's what the Sfarno says. It's Naaseh v'Nishma, like the pasuk says, Ose dvar lishmoya b'kol dvar. When we do the Ratzon Hashem, it's in order to hear better what the Ratzon Hashem is. This gives us a tremendous insight into what a Siyas HaMitzvahs are all about. Siyas HaMitzvahs are not merely taking our learning Lamaisa and fulfilling the Ratzon Hashem by doing what we learn, but the mitzvahs have their own life. They have their own life and they're packaged with insight and understanding and depth of what the Ratzon Hashem is really all about. And we appreciate mitzvahs this way. And we come into mitzvahs Naaseh to just do them. For no other reason but to do them, to do the Ratzon Hashem. We have to realize that it's not just fulfilling the action, but it's an opportunity. It's opening a door. It's opening us up to understanding the Ratzon Hashem better. And this is the pshat in Naaseh v'Nishma, says the Sfarno, like this pasuk in Tehillim. It's more than just the Naaseh precedes the Nishma. It's more than what the Mashah said, that we're single-minded and devoted. It's that the mitzvah is pregnant with meaning, understanding, insight, and a better grasp of what the Ratzon Hashem is, that we can be better Yidden. In this way, the Melachim, they become Rebbeim to us. The same way that they do the Ratzon Hashem to know more what the Ratzon Hashem is. So to a Yid has the same opportunity. When he comes into a mitzvah, Naaseh v'Nishma, when that's his whole kavanah, is to do the mitzvah, the Ratzon Habari, and he's open to it, he will come to understand what mitzvahs are about and what the Ratzon Hashem is about in a very different way.